Crockett lost a little bit. Let's see what Stephen A. got to say about Jasmine
There's
Crockett
no way
losing.
that I could go
Let's
through an
see.
entire opening monologue without transitioning to Representative Jasmine Crockett. She lost.
How many of y'all love and miss? How many of y'all gonna love and miss Jasmine Crockett, gang?
Her pursuit for the United States Senate seats to James Tallarico, 52.4% to 46.2%. She lost this election bid.
Now I haven't. Now look, I haven't really heard too many people talk about why they think that Jasmine Crockett lost. Right? We're gonna go through this video, but if y'all know who Jasmine Crockett is, before we get to it, man, you tell me why you think Jasmine Crockett lost if you familiar with Jasmine Crockett.
U.S. Senate seats in Texas, where she would have gone from a representative representing about 766,000 constituents to over 31 million people.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to discuss why. It would have been nice to see Jasmine Crockett win personally.
Now, Stephen A. usually inflate something too.
Her going up against the Republican candidate, whether it was John Cornyn, whether it was Ken Paxton, whomever. Wesley Hunt was a marvelous guest last week on this show. It would have been nice to see her go up against one of them for the U.S. Senate seat.
I really want to see if Stephen A. gonna say that he think Jasmine Crockett lost because of gerrymandering. All right, hold on. Let's ask Gemini. Let's ask Gemini what the exact definition is of gerrymandering. Hey Gemini. Hey Gemini. Can you tell me the definition of gerrymandering?
Sure thing. Gerrymandering is the practice of altering the boundaries of electoral districts to favor a specific party or group. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Nah, we appreciate that, Gemini. Thank you. Okay, did y'all just hear what Gemini said? Some people might not even know that happens. From a little bit that I hear, might have been some gerrymandering activities going on that might have actually cost Jasmine Crockett her seat. However, in this media space, there's been a lot of criticism of Jasmine Crockett on the way that she carries herself. I have been one to criticize her on the way that she has been carrying herself in the public eye, being a representative, right? Of not just her state and her constituents, but of black people in general, right? But let's see where Stephen A. comes at here. Let's see.
But that is not to be. She called earlier and sent out this tweet regarding James Tallarico, saying, "This morning I called James and congratulated him on becoming the Senate nominee. Texas is primed to turn blue and we must remain united because this is bigger than any one person. This is about the future of all 30 million Texans and getting America back on track. With the primary behind us, Democrats must rally around our nominees.
She got a good response
and
here.
win. I'm committed to doing my part and will continue working to elect Democrats up and down the ballot." End quote. That still doesn't get us to why she lost.
Yeah, we need to know why she lost, man.
James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett essentially were very, very similar in policies, in their ideology, etc. One wanted to focus a little bit more on tariffs than the others.
Let's see.
Both of them were opposed to Trump's immigration policies and tactics. We all know this.
So tell us why she
Jasmine
lost.
Crockett lose this election? They want to tell you that she lost because she didn't ingratiate herself with Hispanics.
Hey, I've been one to say, yo, America is a real unique place. What I mean, I just said to somebody earlier, hey, look, we are U.S. citizens, right? We just kind of hijacked the whole American thing to where we say, hey, we American, but we act like Canada ain't a part of America, Mexico, Brazil, El Salvador, Chile, Colombia. We act like none of this other stuff is actually in America. We like, okay, we Americans, and the rest of them is something else. Those are third world people, and that's just Canada up there. They just, they whatever. That's Drake place. We act like we act like U.S. citizens act like we are American, and that's it. But maybe we need to start actually like saying like, yo, we U.S. citizens, because like united, the word united is in there, bro. Yo, I tell you, bro. Sometime when I be hearing, bro, when I say founding fathers, please don't take my black card, kick me out the. If you look at yourself like being an American, right? If you look at yourself like being an American, then you can say founding fathers, and I don't think you gotta feel uncomfortable about that. That country, a long time ago, the country that had slavery and everything else going on, that was actually a different country. Still the U.S., but it was a different country. Or we could just look at it like this, right? Let's look at them. Let's look at the U.S. and let's say, hey, the U.S., right, was like a child in its infancy, like a child during like infancy in those beginning stages where we had all those things that somehow still got our population in disarray and separated right now, right? So at that point, America was a young child and America was making lots of mistakes. Do we still judge America for the things that they did in their young childhood and infancy as an adult America? Like, are we still judging it like that? So when Stephen A is saying, hey, she like, some people are saying, well, she might not have ingratiated herself with the Mexican community, with the Latino community or whatever, right? Like, how many people in America, how many pockets or groups, just citizens in general, see themselves first as something else other than Americans? Because if they do, then we got to go back to identity politics. We got to go back to, hey, people ain't going to identify with you unless you look like them. And how can this great country survive if that's always the case?
Because they have over 6.5 million Hispanic voters in the state of Texas. Mm-hmm. And she didn't endear herself to them nearly as well as she should have. She was criticized, she's been criticized for comments perceived as alienating Hispanic voters leading into the election. Remarks stem primarily from a 2024 Vanity Fair interview where she discussed.
Let me say, it's a lot coming out here, but let me say this as well, right? One of the crazy things about being black, bro, for me, is that I always find myself having to like take a side, or I always find people, because I don't have to do nothing, and I generally don't take, I'm generally like, I'm going with right or wrong. That's it. That's all. I don't care what's going on. Like, to me, that's the mark of being a man. That's a part of what it means to be a man, where like I can stand on what I want to stand on. I can stand on right. I can stand on wrong. But I choose to stand on right. That's just how I am. So, I often find that you got to take these hard lines. You got to take hard lines when you black in America. Like, you got to just, sometimes you got to like go along with something that you feel like is just totally wrong. You got to just agree with something that don't make sense. Once again, we talking about them herbs. It might be pain time because I got to give y'all different kind of information out here. So sometimes you forced to sit up in public, especially you in the public eye, you in the spotlight, you black, and you represent the people, right? You got to be forced to say shit that's going to alienate you from people. And if your job, like if you keep your job based on the votes of multitudes of people, you might be in trouble.
Latino support for Donald Trump and immigration views. She described some Latino immigrants' attitudes towards undocumented immigrants as reminiscent of, quote unquote, a slave mentality. She went on to say it almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about the kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. In the full context, she elaborated. The immigration thing has always been something that has perplexed me about this community. It's basically like, I fought to get here, but I left y'all where I left y'all. And I want no more of y'all to come here. If I wanted to be with y'all, I would have stayed with y'all. But I don't want y'all coming to my new home. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. It is wild to me when I hear how anti-immigrant they are as immigrants.
Yo. As humans, we all have our own unique experiences. You gotta be a great person. Yo, bro, do you know how, like, you know how much of a high level human you gotta be in order for you to be, like, to recognize, like your own personal biases? Cause we all got our own personal biases, right? So sometimes you got your personal bias and you having an expectation that everybody is going to see things like you. Everybody needs to see things in the way that I see things. You get people saying, we a country of immigrants. What country is you referring to? What country? You referring to the 13 colonies? America or the U.S. was a whole different place. I wonder if in the times of ancient Egypt, 300-400 years go by, they done been conquered by 2-3 different groups. They done developed new technologies, new laws. They done started new things, stopped old things. I wonder if they was just standing on the same old thing. Is France still Gaul? Is Germany still Prussia? Is the entire Italy just considered Rome? Like, why is that? Like, I don't get it sometimes.
Many of them. Perhaps the most damaging thing was when Jake Tapper questioned her about an exact quote that she gave.
Okay.
It was at a church event in April of 2025. And
At
she
a
was
church event again.
Applying racial stereotypes about labor and immigration. Quote, so I had to go around the country educating people about what immigrants do to this country and the fact that we are a country of immigrants. The fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Bro. Yo. If you watching this stream, if you on TikTok or you on Twitch, wherever you watching this at, right? There are going to be people who have agendas. And those people agendas will be to like race bait you, okay? Identity bait you. Like, oh, like look at me. I look like you. Look at me. My ancestors is the same ancestors as your ancestors. Look at me. Hey, and to try to get you riled up for their benefit. To propel them. And it'll only set you back. So when I look at politicians of all races, when it seems like they trying to drum up the division, they don't care about no side. They just want to win. That's it. They just want to benefit. That's it. It's totally unnecessary. Man, it's unnecessary for you to go along with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's coming. Come on, bro.
Ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. You not. We're done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation. Critics, including Latinos, called it racist and dismissive. This is not about me. This is not about you. This is not about anybody. This is about the voters in Texas and what they're saying ultimately.
Because the problem with that is, right, working on a farm, picking cotton, Apple, whatever, right? That's just, it's a job. It's slavery when you're forced to do something. You ain't getting paid under all type of threat, like we don't got, yo, bro, we don't know what slavery was, bro. We don't know what slavery was, bro. You don't know what slavery was? You can't even imagine how slavery felt. And guess what? I can't even imagine how it felt. When Kanye said it was a choice, I felt like I understood what he was saying. Because in these times, most people will be down to check on out of here for less. Think about the stuff we go around in our communities ready to die for, bro. You ain't gonna be ready to die. They selling your daughter and your wife. You ain't gonna be ready to die. And Massa and them take advantage of your whole family. All wording and torture and doing all that. You ain't gonna be ready to die for this? So no. We don't know that side of life. We don't know. We can't even imagine what our ancestors went through. If you ask me, I don't think we could imagine what our recent ancestors been through, like during like the civil rights and the Jim Crow era. Is y'all kidding me?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
If we had if we had a tiny inkling of what it felt like to be a slave or to go, if we held on to that properly, bro, we would stick together. We would act and maneuver just like the Jewish people. For all the criticism of the Jewish people, does no one admire them? Does no one admire the Jewish population? I think you probably got to be crazy not to admire the Jewish people. How could you not admire them? If you disagree with whatever I'm saying right now, I'll tell you what. If you're on TikTok, they got the invite thing. Hey, put it in the chat. Invite me. And then I'll go to your name and I'll invite you. And you can agree, argue with me. Are the Jewish people not worthy of some kind of admiration? They remember the things they've been through. And they got that single goal and that solid purpose that all of them could tap into. Seems we don't remember or understand or really feel nothing. We just talking. A lot of lip service. We just talking.
Had an impact in deciding how this election went. You got a guy, James Tellerico, who's a seminarian and a teacher who believed in compromise and pulling folks over to his side and working across the aisle and doing stuff like that.
Okay.
That was his style.
Stephen Akon really giving us
and he was focusing on Ken Paxton, a Republican candidate for the United States Senate, who's an attorney.
And yo, you'll always hear me talk about flexibility, right? That like, yo, the best humans are flexible. Yo, as I've grown in being a man and being a human, I realize that when I love a person, I'm willing to be flexible. Y'all know my definition of love is the highest level of understanding. The more understanding you have, the more flexible you're willing to be. So when he say compromise, Compromise ain't always a bad word. Because some people look at it. I was talking to my aunt husband one time, man. And he older, you know what I'm saying? Like, I asked him, I said, hey, say you was giving advice to somebody younger. You want to give advice. What would the advice you would just have for, like, a random younger person? And he said, don't compromise. Never compromise. And he was kind of talking directly about his relationship with my aunt. And I thought to myself, boy, that might be horrible information to give somebody, especially if you're not explaining to them how they should apply that, how they should interpret that. But if you running through your entire life, never compromising, never being flexible, always standing on wrong no matter what, you're going to be a horrible person.
General in Texas, and was focusing on him because it's widely believed that he will beat John Cornyn eventually, particularly in their runoff. Whereas she was focused on Trump and not giving him an inch to breathe and being all up his you-know-what.
So, you know, I always talk about that, like, yo, she was just focused on Trump. So, bro, a lot of times, bro, yo, man, I'm going to say, like, yo, check it, right? I know a dude that's incredibly bad to his family. I mean, he destroyed his family. He has no good relationship with his biological kids. And, like, the damage he has done to, like, his ladies' kids is outrageous, right? I mean, it's the most toxic situation I know about, period. And every time you around this dude, out of nowhere, he'll just bring up Trump.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all?
You see this clip anywhere on social media, right? I really want y'all to comment, right? Get in the comments and give me your answers. How many of y'all know people, they down, dirty, greasy, sleazy, don't care about nothing, right? And the moment you get around them, they just start talking about Donald Trump. Motherfucker could treat his family wild. Don't care about nothing. And the moment you get around, bro, you ain't taking care of your kids, bro. Hey, yo, miss, you neglecting your kids. Hey, yo, bro, you an all-out dirtbag. And the first thing they want to talk about is Trump. Hold on, bro. We got many things to talk about.
Every little thing that he did and what